Good morning, my peeps. I hope that you're having a great morning already. Bright-eyed and, well, I don't say bushy-tailed, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. I hope that it's a good morning. There's some fresh rain coming on. It's good to see you. And to all of our people, man, thank you so very much. There's Mark Knox. He's coming on. Hey, Mark. And got some people that are joining us, and I'm glad to see you today. Had a great weekend. Got to see Nate. Good morning, Alicia. Good to see you. Jimmy Futch. Good to see you, and Pastor Anthony. We were, and Vincent Van. It's good to see you today. Glad you're here. I got to see Nate, my son, coach his first game at Alberta Friday night, and they come out with a win, so it was a good weekend for the Mack clan, that's for sure. And so, good morning, Gail. Good to see you. And morning, Mason. Thank you, Van. I appreciate that. I feel pretty good, not too bad. Good morning, Bobby and Dawn. Thank you so very much for taking 9 o'clock yesterday. That was a hoot. I enjoyed it. There was some good spiritual stuff, but you're never going to have a boring conversation with Bobby, that's for sure. So it was great. Hey, Rich, it's good to see you. Hello, my friend. And Sarah's watching. Good to see you. I'm so thankful for this morning. As a matter of fact, I am coming live to you from Spanish Fort, Alabama. And today you'll join me at 10 o'clock via recorded message, but I'm having the opportunity to be here with my son and his family before everything gets started back. Now remember, September the 13th, we're going to start back Sunday morning, 10 a.m. We're going to be there, and I want you to come with bells on and all the whistles and that good stuff. We're going to have a time, and it's going to be great. There's things that we're always going to be aware of during this time called COVID, and we'll try to do what we can, try to be understanding of what's around us. But I still want you to come. We're going to have a great time together. Good morning, Lori. Good to see you. Andrea, hey, it's good to see you today. Thanks for joining us today. Oh, Charles Bird is coming on. So thank you so much for being here. I wanted to just take a moment and just tell you, I mean, you've heard me all the time. We talk about that change is inevitable, progress is optional. And that's a true statement. It is inevitable. But there's a difference between accepting that change is inevitable and change is essential. I hope you understand what I just said with that. Change does not need to be in our vocabulary as just inevitable, because change is going to happen. If not careful, because it's inevitable, we'll say, well, it's going to change anyway, so what can I do about it? But when we understand that change is essential, it has to happen. It's going to happen. If it's not, hey, Millie, it's good to see you today. Thanks. Hey, Pastor D, good to see you. Change is essential. And the reason why it's essential is because it being inevitable, that's one thing. But if we don't embrace change, we're going to miss it. There's things around us that are changing constantly right now. We must embrace the change. But I don't want to embrace COVID change. Well, sorry, it's here. And the people that will really be effective to other people are the ones that will embrace change and adjust. So I want to encourage you in that. I think that that's so important to make that happen. You know, Jesus said to his disciples, to his followers, he said this, occupy until I come. Hey, Crystal, it's good to see you this morning. Occupy till I come. Occupy there means, it's a military term. Hey, Jim Ward, it's a military term that says to prepare like you're going to be here forever and be ready to go at a moment's notice. So this goes right along with the sermon series that we're preaching, talking about the clouds, coming out of the clouds, or from the clouds, falling from the clouds is what the title of the series is. And what we need to embrace is we need to get out of just staring and waiting for something to take place. Because if all we're doing is waiting for something to take place, instead of doing what we know to do, it's never going to work out for us. There's a story of a small town that they were getting a hydroelectric plant, and it was going to be built. So where the elevation was, the town was literally going to be under the dam, so they were going to have to evacuate the town and sail out and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't going to be ready for a couple of years. And what happened with that small town, all the areas of trying to make it look good went out the door. There was no more painting. There was no more trying to make things look good. There was no more trying to prepare it to be acceptable while you were there. Everything just took a nosedive, and nobody did anything. And what took place was the town looked like it was ready to give up. It looked like that there was nobody there, and there were still people there. We've got to prepare like we're going to be here for a long time, and yet be ready to go at a moment's notice. That's what embracing change is all about. Because there are people who are hurting out there, it's true. And people who need us now more than ever before. And so in order to do that, you and I have to embrace change and say, okay, how do we adjust to what's taking place right now? And then move in that area. So it's not if change is inevitable, it's change is essential. It's absolutely essential. I would look pretty funny trying to take my baby boy at 6'1", 6'2". I don't know how much he weighs, but he's bigger. He's a big boy. But to put him on my shoulder and try and burp him, how many understand that that's gone way beyond? Hey, Tina Rice and Ray Rice, it's good to see you. I hope you're feeling better, Ray. Tommy and Karen Letlow, they're on, and Janice Murray. Hey, it's good to see you today. It would look pretty crazy if I tried to not let change happen. Change is essential. I held him in my arms when he was first born, and I loved on him, but he began to grow. I can't put him in my lap now and yell Gucci, 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 and look at Daddy and talk to him in baby talk. Something's wrong with me if that happens. Change is essential, not just it could be evident that it's got to do, but change, the choice to change is optional, and so we need to our attitude toward change, not change in itself, but the attitude towards change, that's optional. So we need to do that. Change is inevitable, but I'd rather it be that change is essential in my attitude so that I can do great things. Karen says, Mama can. Well, I don't know. You might do Gucci Gucci, but I don't know if I want to do that out in public, that's for sure. You might do that in private, but that's one of those things. I'm thankful that I have a hope right now, and I don't know if you're as excited as I am, but I'm super excited. I really am. Now, with this COVID mess that I just had and all that kind of stuff, and I'm still battling with some of it, even some new stuff that's come up. Got some platelet counts that are not exactly right. They said it's part of COVID. Who knows? It could be just, it could be a lot of different things. But in the time that we're in, despite all that, and sometimes I have to grab myself by the bootstraps and say, hey, look now, everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. It's not as bad. God's still in control, and I have to remind myself of that. Don't think that I've just got this thing whipped. But I decided long ago that I was going to follow after Christ. And if I'm going to follow him, that means a what? In Romans 12:2, a renewing of the mind. And that happens on a daily basis. That's not just a one and done kind of thing. That's something that has to happen all the time. And the whole purpose for renewing the mind is the fact that we are embraced to change, because change is essential. We have to have it. So I'm thankful for that. And I'm going to do that. And I don't know what church is going to look like totally in a month from now, in a year from now, in 2 years from now. But I need for you to get to that place. We don't really care. We're gonna roll with the punches. We're gonna change with the change, because change is essential. And you say, well, what's that got to do with it? Well, God allowed it to happen. You can better believe that everything we're going through is Father filtered, 100%. God didn't miss it at all. I mean, not a little bit. It didn't take him by surprise. And we say that all the time, but you need to get that. That needs to go into the heart and in the mind, because that's important. Because he didn't miss it. If he didn't miss it, then we don't need to act like he ain't operating in it. Does that make sense? So I want us to embrace change. Don't be scared of change. Embrace it. Now, we may have to do things a little bit different. That's okay. That's all right. Because of my medical conditions, I eat different than I used to. Change is essential. But you know what? I feel better. I feel better. And you can too. And spiritually, physically, emotionally, in every area of your life, you can feel better and you can do better when you embrace change. When you understand it is essential, not just one of those where it's going to happen, so what can I do about it? I've decided what I'm going to do. And I think you as an individual, you need to decide what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. And I say now's the time. Why wait till next week? Why wait till tomorrow? Let's do it today. Let's do that today and help somebody else make the change. And, I have, over the years of pastoring, I've learned that it's not the greatest prayers that I pray when I'm going, like when I used to go to the hospital to visit. It's not the greatest, they don't go back and say, boy, you sure can preach in the pulpit, or, boy, you're a great pastor. You got a great name on the front of your, door at the church. What they are considering and what they do understand is that we are, when I'm there, it's called the ministry of presence. You don't have to quote the Bible from cover to cover. What you need to do is have the ministry of presence to where you show up and you just say, I'm here. I love you. I am here for you. And that makes a lot of difference. It makes a lot of difference. It makes a lot of difference to me when members call me up and say, hey, listen, Pastor, I'm praying for you. Believe it or not, old pastors need prayer too. And they get in the same old fixes sometimes. So anyway, you're right, Rebecca. It is a heart change. And Millie, yeah, thank you. Thank you for getting that. That is what did she say? When Garen is here, I give the new pool a workout. And Brandon Talley says, change. No. That's the way we do, Brandon, that's for sure. And but if there is no change, what does he say? We either change and adapt or we become powerless. Boy, that's a true statement. That's the truth. And there is no power where there is no change. If there is no change, you wouldn't be listening to me via this format on social media. Without change, that doesn't happen. Without change, the air condition that we enjoy doesn't happen. I don't know about you, but I like some changes. I like them. Now, not every change I like, but if God be true, and according to Romans 8:28, all things work together for good to them that love God, then change is part of that working together, and we should be okay. So, love you too, Rich. Thank you, man. We appreciate all that you do. And Steve Wilson's coming on. I just wanted to spend some time. I don't know, this 9 o'clock is important to me on a Sunday morning because I miss the saints. I miss you. And I already understand that not everybody's going to return. I know that not everybody is going to embrace wanting to come back the same way. Everybody wants to be back, but the way that it is. And I know that some, because of underlying health conditions, or you just have it's a hitch in the get along and you say, I'm just not quite ready, it's okay. That's okay. But for those, whether you stay at home, that's different, and watch it, or you come to the church, that's different. It's not going to be the same when we get to the church. And I want to let you know that. It's not going to feel the same because we don't have the whole family with us. We don't have everybody. But that's okay too. We're going to do what we can and pushing forward. But one of the things we're not going to do is just stalemate. We're going to occupy until Jesus comes. We're going to do what we need to do until he comes. So I declare that by the power of Jesus Christ and his word and what he's given us. Lauren, it's good to see you this morning, baby. I like that. You're right, Millie. Without change, you're in a rut. And you've got to come out of that. And revelation helps you to come out of that. Once you understand and once you get revelation, it brings you out of a place where you've been stuck, when you're no longer going. So I want to say that. I'm just trying to read some of these comments. Yeah, Bobby and Dawn, it'll be better when we get together. I think so. I think you're absolutely right. It will be better. And you know, it's funny because Karen is more of a people person than I am. I miss people, but I guess it was the way I grew up. I could be a little bit more of a hermit than most people. And so sometimes I don't see or feel the need for it quite as quick. But there are some people that live by that. They got to have it. And I certainly miss seeing you. I've walked through the church quite a number of times since all this has taken place. And an empty church feels very lonely. It feels very empty because it's not supposed to be empty. But I'm hoping that this is a refocus for us, that we'll take this time and this season that seems broken, because God never gives us anything broken without wanting to restore it or to fix it. And there's a reason why it's broken, is so we can turn to him so it can be fixed. So I declare to you that whatever has been broken, first of all, the enemy can't win in this. God has given us a spirit that allows us to trust him. And what the enemy has stolen, he has to give back. He cannot keep. That is word. That is God's word for us. So he cannot just steal it and do away with it. So I declare to you right now that whatever the enemy looks like that he's stolen from you, that he's taken away, the word of God declares that you get that back, and 7 times. So I declare it, I believe it, I say it done. We're not going to step back. We're not going to quit. Something's wrong when quit sounds good. I got a book that's coming out on that. I'm writing some stuff right now, so I'll get ready for that. Pray for me on that. But when quit sounds good, there's something wrong, because we have a God that gives us hope. And in the midst of it all, he'll bring us through. So I just want to say to you, I love you. Thank you for an opportunity to always speak into your life. Join us at 10 o'clock, where we'll be bringing Falling from the Clouds. You don't want to miss today's sermon in that series, and we'll be continuing that. Again, I look forward to seeing you September the 13th. And the next week, I'm going to be getting out some stuff on One Call Now. If you're not on One Call Now, you'd like to be on it, call the church office and say, add my name to the One Call Now. It's a blast. We'll also be doing some other social media things that will give you an opportunity to know what we're going to do. We're going to go out, and we're going to ask you to call in. Make sure that you've got a way that you can call in and say, me and my family is going to be there. We've asked some preliminary questions so that we can kind of get an idea. But for that day, we want to make sure that we've got enough seats set out, and so that we can do what we need to do. And the option if we need to go to a second service. I think we're okay, but we just need to make sure. So we'll be getting that information to you this week. God bless you so very much. And don't forget, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice. I choose to rejoice and be glad in it. God bless you. I'll see you soon.